Hello and welcome to the Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
It's episode 141. Sorry that there haven't been many episodes recently. Jake moved house, and then I was like, well, I want to do that as well.
Yeah.
So I've moved house, so I'm in a new place now. And, you know, between that...
Everything in between.
My car broke down while I was moving house.
Yeah.
So that was good. And obviously working ridiculous hours as well. No time off for the house move. So sorry about that. Yeah, it's my fault. The last couple were my fault that we missed that. But we're going to do a bonus podcast as we normally do. But what we're going to do is actually put that out for everyone as well this week, just as I don't know what that is as a gesture even. But
Like
it's just
throwing money at a hooker.
That's what I wanted. I was like, how can we do that? But like in like YouTube form, and that's exactly it. Free, bonus podcast for everyone. This week, just have that. Do you know what I mean? Have that bonus podcast. The
more I think about what I said, the worse it's getting. So.
Listen, that's terrible. Yeah. Can we re-record this? I'm joking. Right. So there's a lot to get through. There's loads of emails and stuff that have built up. So what I've actually done, I've gone back a couple of weeks through the inbox and picked out some ones from sort of 2 or 3 weeks ago. So there's a bit of a buffer now, which is pretty good for the next few weeks in terms of emails and shit. There's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of gaming news and stuff that we haven't talked about yet. There's some things that are probably, like the Battlefield beta, we played that and we haven't really talked about that, and we've had quite a few emails about that, so we'll definitely have a quick chat about that. New releases and stuff, as you'd expect. Liam, what have you been up to this week, mate? What have you been playing?
Not really a lot this week. Old stuff, remastered stuff. Biggest thing I played was Metroid Dread. That was technically last week, but
cool.
It was good. I didn't like it as much as some of the reviewers were, because they were glowing for it. I thought it was a good Metroid game, a good Metroidvania game as well. The pacing of it is great, to be fair. It feels like you're always discovering something new. You're always moving into a new area, getting new upgrades, finding new enemies. Pacing is great. Combat, also good. They brought back the weird counter parry mechanic from the last Metroid game, which some people hated. I quite liked it. But it gets to a point where the boss fights, I didn't really like them. They were all a bit samey. Usually some big monster sat in a corner of a room. You've just got to carefully dodge projectiles. Launching a few missiles in their mouth is usually how... That's pretty much how all Metroid bosses go, to be honest. But
Missile in the mouth, yeah.
Missile in the mouth. But then, it's a good game. Looks great on the Switch. Runs beautifully. Really nice audio and everything to it. Looks great. Controls really nice. Probably one of the best controlling Metroidvania games I've ever played, because they're known for having sometimes quite floaty controls, I guess. But movement is beautiful in Metroid Dread. I'd give it a solid 8 if I had to give it a score. It is very short. It's you can get through it in 6 hours, but they are meant to be replayed, really. It's the final boss. Didn't really like that one either. It was just parry, 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 shoot them once, quick time event, parry, parry, parry again. So it got a bit boring, but it's a good game. It's another very good showing for Nintendo on the Switch. They're just hitting them home run after home run with all the first party stuff. Yeah, that was good. I also did Crysis 2 Remastered, which is...
Really? What did you play that on?
PC. So It came out this week just gone, I think. They did the whole remastered trilogy for consoles, but then the first Crysis was already remastered on PC a year ago. So they did 2 and 3 remastered, put them out together on the Epic Games Store. You get a 30% discount if you own the Crysis Remastered on PC. And so I did decide. I thought, you know what, why not? I've got a £10 off coupon on the Epic Games Store. Let's go for it. I do like the Crysis games. They've done a really good job of remastering the second game, at least, to the point you could mistake it for a current gen game, to be honest. It looks very, very good. They redid all the textures, changed the lighting system completely, changed how water looks so it looks more natural, because, it is a 360 game at its core, I guess. But, they did a beautiful job. They put ray tracing in it. Don't know what that looks like because I haven't got a graphics card that could do ray tracing.
Oh, right, okay.
It's got like NVIDIA DLSS in for all like the diehard NVIDIA fans who sing the praises of it. Yeah, it's a really good remastering effort. It's only the campaign. They did take the multiplayer mode out. To be honest, the multiplayer in Crysis 2 wasn't that great anyway, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, it was nice to go through that campaign again because it's very set piece heavy. It does come from that era of shooter on the 360 where it was like set piece after set piece campaigns, which I'm sort of getting a bit nostalgic for now, even though a couple of years ago I hated that sort of campaign after playing so many of them.
Funny, isn't it? It's so funny.
But now I'm like,
if it's if it swings back that way and you get less open world games, give it 3 or 4 years, and everybody will be fucking
clamoring for the open world again,
for a new Assassin's Creed. Like it'll be,
it is weird how it's gone full circle that way. But yeah, it was a good remaster. I think that's all I've really played. Really, I did buy a few games. Like I bought Outer Wilds.
Nice.
Haven't played it yet though. One of my friends from work was like basically describing it like a religious experience. So I was like, all right, I'll play it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Like he was really singing the praises. I have to believe him, to be fair. Like he doesn't give praise out like that often.
I think, there is a danger with Outer Wilds. I absolutely loved it, but I think there is a danger. I think it was you, Jake, who said this, where said something similar. But if you don't like, or if you've got no kind of patience for like puzzles, it can be. I can see how you'd hate it because it's like physics based, really obscure, puzzle solving where you basically have to just have a little look on Google every at least a couple of points. There's one in particular where I was like, how the hell would anyone figure that out, even with all the clues in the game? It does. It's a heavy puzzle focused game, but everything it does is quite magic at the ending, especially the last kind of couple of hours. I absolutely loved.
I do quite like that style of gameplay, though. I remember when I played Stories Untold, which is a horror game, like an indie horror game. Right. The first part of it is like a text adventure. The second part of it is you have to do like a science experiment. And then there's one part of it which is like you're in I think it's like an Arctic research station, but it gives you like a big in-game manual. And you've got to decode like Morse code puzzles. So it got to a point where I had like a notebook by my side and I was like writing down notes. And I got really into it, to be fair.
It's pretty close to that, and also, but it's combined with like physics controls. So you're like, if you're watching the podcast, it's a bit like you're kind of floating, and it's like, and you have to like carefully position.
It's a bit asteroids, isn't it?
Yeah,
or Kerbal. Space program. Like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of.
The thing that I don't like is like some of the like obviously I guess this you could probably know this, but the game's kind of like time loopy, right? So So there's like parts where I don't know. Let's say the loop's like however many minutes. Like there's like a 20-second window where you can do something, and if you don't get it, then the loop's a waste. Kind of thing. Okay. Like there's one particular thing I'm thinking of specifically where you have to be lined up. I guess like 12 minutes was something similar, and So it's.
But if that works for you, and if you like this, if you like the mystery of the spaciness, the spacey bits, it's sort of No Man's Sky is trying to make you feel like a certain way about space by giving you infinite amounts of space.
Yeah.
And Outer Wilds is tiny, really. It's a really small area. But you'll see a little thing on the. A lot of it's around music as well. You can point your music in different, and you might point your like listening device into off into space, and you'll see a tiny little blip, and then you'll hear something from that blip, and you think, oh my god, what the hell is that? And that is probably a lot more intriguing and mysterious than anything I've found in No Man's Sky. But I haven't played No Man's Sky into the late sort of end game, I suppose. But it's a great game. Outer Wilds. So I want to do the DLC. I really want to do the DLC, which is new.
And then I've also got The Good Life to play, which I haven't played yet. Which is Sweary's new game. Me being a massive fan of Deadly Premonition, and then I remember I kickstarted this 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I forgot about
remember
it
you
until
doing
I literally got like an email saying, "Here's your key." I was like, "Oh, cool." So yeah, I've not played that yet though. But from what I hear, it's classic, sweary, absolutely like nonsensical game design combined with nonsensical storytelling and just David Lynch weirdness, which is all I can really ask for in a game. But yeah, that is all my gaming experience from since the last podcast, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, almost all, because the three of
Almost
us got together to play Battlefield.
Yeah, so
2042.
let me read an
Even
email
that
about
many.
this then. So the Battlefield 20, what is it? What year is it? 2042
Two.
beta
Yeah.
happened the last couple of weeks. I can't remember when it was exactly.
I think it was.
When was it?
Was it
Last
2
week?
weeks ago?
It was, yeah, so this week it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've had an email into the Dear Special Moves inbox. This is dearspecialmoves@gmail.com from Link Thomas, which is a cool name. Link says, Dear Special Moves, as someone who last built a decent PC in 2014, I've been wanting to upgrade my GPU for a while. I finally caved in last week and bought a new 3070 laptop since I needed a new laptop for work. Anyway, I'm looking at this computer, and some of Mike's comments recently about enjoying gaming content more than playing games have made me think. I'm always up to date on the gaming news and new technology, but I rarely find time or motivation to actually play games other than when friends are asking me to play with them. And in new releases like the recent Diablo 2 remastered. Now that I got this laptop, I'm trying to get back into playing games and would like your opinions on the new Battlefield 2042. I played the beta, but it seemed to not run very well technically and just didn't seem like a Battlefield game. I've been playing Battlefield since the original 1942, and some of my fondest memories come from those games. I know they have been strained from the original games as the years go on, but this new game just seems like a bridge too far for me. With the classes being replaced by hero-type characters and completely open character gun selection, it just didn't feel like It didn't feel like there was any team play or reason to pick anything other than the grappling hook. Would love to hear your thoughts on this new game if anyone has played it. Is it just me? I'm not enjoying the games in general, or does this version seem to not have the same Battlefield magic? Love listening to the podcast and look forward to all the new episodes.
Thank you, man.
Cheers. Thanks, Link.
Well,
What's it called Link? Fuck.
yeah, man. You'd want to you'd be like, my name's Link. Yeah, I know. You know me, one of them,
Yeah.
innit? Yeah, so I mean, we played it. I was very, so we played it on PlayStation 5, actually.
Yeah.
Which I felt like was probably like being held on by the seams, because actually, like I can say it now because it didn't happen, but like basically like EA will send out random members of the public invitations to play like an alpha under NDA.
Yeah.
And I was invited to play the one on the PlayStation like a couple of months ago, but last minute they sent an email to everybody saying it's not going ahead, guys, because it just doesn't work on PlayStation. Like, so it's cancelled. Right. So that was actually, in fact, that was only about a month ago. I say it was ages ago. It's probably only about a month ago. And then, so yeah, when he did this, it was like, okay. And then I played it and it was really bad, like proper, I had like a lot of issues with lighting where it was like really like epileptic lighting, like complete, like probably like 50 times a second white shutter lighting.
Yeah. I had
so as we're talking about this, when is it out? It's out in November.
It launches in the time.
3 weeks.
3 weeks, I think. Yeah,
so it's not
3
far.
weeks.
So just to bear that in mind as we're talking.
Yeah. So I mean, just because Link mentioned that he didn't think it run very well, and obviously he kind of started the email with to mention that he's finally got himself a new graphics card, and he might be feeling a bit of weird doubt. No, the game just looked and played very off and weird. First of all, so before anything else, like, just wanted to say that. Did you guys have any of those issues with like the stuttering and?
Yeah, I had that like seizure-inducing light one as well. It's like, I had one where I fell through the floor and couldn't respawn until the end of the match. I had weird ones like where textures would stretch across the map. Like, you'd get into a Jeep and then the Jeep texture would like morph and stretch forever.
Yeah, like Annihilation, wasn't it?
I think that was like the only. It was mainly visual stuff I had.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like performance issues. Like, 'cause I know I saw some people saying it was like really stuttery and the aiming felt off for them and stuff like that. I didn't have any of that, luckily. But yeah, still something didn't feel quite right about it when I was playing it.
Totally. To me, you know, I can usually look past like technical stuff as long as it isn't, you know, completely undermining what the game is trying to be. But I wasn't. I think they've done a couple of really basic things that have taken away from it, and Link's saying there about, you know, the, you know, it doesn't feel like it's encouraging team play as much. And I thought for a little bit like what's different about this? Like something's changed, and I noticed that the points that you score in Battlefield, which used to be bang in the middle of the screen, like there you go, 10 points for resupplying, 10 points for whatever, you know, that is all just kind of off to the side now as part of the kind of, you know, the HUD around the frame.
Yeah, right? Almost like the placement of like a chat box in an MMO.
I was going to say that. Yeah. Or like an action log or something like that, where it's like, oh, you've just done this or you've just done that, and you've just used this attack. It's that kind of vibe to it, and it doesn't feel like. Doesn't have that like satisfying, like, you know, I've done that, I've just done that, I've just fucking gave my teammate some bandages, which is lame. So but having that little firework in the middle of the screen in, you know, Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 4 and whatever feels good, because it feels like I've getting some fun there.
It's very, very centered around keeping all your notifications. It almost feels like actually the UI is
I hate it.
Just bad. For anyone who didn't play, you actually get very, very, very similar to a mobile phone. I think clearly the people that they've hired to do UX UI have been taking it very seriously, like the science of optometry and stuff like that, and they've been looking at sighting like mobile phones and things like that. I just with my day job, I've been working with UX UI guys for a project, right? And they are so like into that, like, and if you're looking at anything that retains people's information and things like that, it's social media. That's the thing, right? So the way that it comes up when you like capture a point, a little like drop down like pillbox banner comes down, and like exactly the same as if you get a message on WhatsApp or whatever, you'll get the little notification, and then you like almost like swipe up. It looks like a pop up. But that's the thing about it. You know, pop ups and ads and banner ads on YouTube and all that and Twitch. They're all designed to be in like corners that your eyes naturally gravitate towards and things that catch your attention. And they're so over designed. Adverts are so over designed because they're made by marketing guys and guys that are trying to get on the data so badly to get the click through rates that there's nothing else really as aggressive as advertising. And so when Battlefield's been taking a leaf out of their book, it feels like I feel like fuck off when I get like A has been captured. When I'm playing Battlefield 5, it says it right in the middle of the screen, and I think cool, but I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh, for fuck's sake, and carry on playing. It feels like an inconvenience to look at it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a little notification banner saying, "Don't forget, for 24 hours only, you can get 50% off Domino's." Domino's sends me.
It's bonus XP weekend type of shit, isn't it? That's what what did you think of it, Liam? The UI and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, I totally agree. I thought it was a horrible abomination of a thing. That's how much I disliked it. Like trying to figure out, I was like, all right, how do I change my weapon? I want to swap to the like LMG. How do I do that? I've got to press square, and then I have to press L1 R1 to swap over, but then I have to press square again, and it's like, but now the weapon box is on the right side of the screen where it was just on the left side of the screen a second ago. I hate how blocky it is as well. Like it feels like it takes up the majority of the screen to the like Jake's saying, to the point it feels like it's trying to grab your attention with notifications all the time, except on like a 55-inch telly, it's very distracting. Yeah, especially when you're
giant bar of lime green at the top of your television.
Keeps popping down, and it's like you're trying to play a game, like especially when you're in the middle of a shootout or whatever, trying to capture the objective, and it's telling you, your teammates caught the other objective on the complete opposite side of the map. It was horrible.
Do you know? I didn't love the like Battlefield 1 because the Battlefield 1 UI was a huge. There's a big change. Like they went from Battlefield 4 to and it was really stripped back. There's basically nothing there, but I really miss that now. I really miss like how Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 just have this really nice, clean, soft sort of UI that is just there in the background, really nicely designed. I didn't like it when it first started, when it first it first went down that route with Battlefield 1, but I really miss it now looking at this. Like, it's,
I know what you mean. Like Battlefield 5, it's all like faint white lines and transparent grey boxes, so you can still see what's going on behind the UI, but this one is like horrible, all solid colour, blocky. As we were saying before we started recording as well, we had a little chat about Battlefield, and it was, it's got Battlefield 4 written all over it at the moment because even though that's quite a fan favourite of some kind now, it absolutely was not when it came out. It was full of problems and really kind of but they're ambitious games, aren't they? That's the problem, and they have destruction. They've got vehicles. This has got 128 players in it. So it's a beta in this. You appreciate that, but if this was 6 months ago, you'd kind of think, okay, I can see this. I can see this shaping up in time. But it's just that like really close proximity to the actual launch now that makes you think, ooh,
how can they like just general things like the fucking color of every element, like they've got that weird horrible blue color, and you think, are they going to change that or is that staying? Because it looks like I don't know. There's a lot, and we didn't even touch on really the hero system and shit. But I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings.
I'm really not into that sort of stuff. I really wish that was the thing.
I'm not a fan of it. I wish it would have been more like classic Battlefield where you have the set roles instead of just giving everyone the ability to do everything at the time. It's like it's the whole like jack of all trades, master of none thing.
And it kind of my biggest issue with it, apart from my biggest issue with it at all was that there was no real. We played it together, but I didn't feel like at any point there was any point in a way. Like the teamwork is stripped out of it, and I didn't like that. I couldn't even tell you guys I'm going to B or whatever. Let's go to C next or whatever. You can't do anything like that. I didn't. And then the thing I didn't like the most is that these classes sort of didn't really seem to be. I don't know, that specialist because you can just swap the guns out, and then. The devs have doubled down on that now and basically said, no, we're really standing by this system. So that's what I don't like. Because with Battlefield, I think it was the last one, 5, the medics were like SMG, which is kind of a bit of a deviation from how medics are normally kind of single shot rifles or like mid range. And then eventually they patched that in and it's great. And like when I play medic now, it's like I'm pretty much always using this rifle and it's like how the old games were and stuff. And they just listened and said we've made the mistake. But now they're at the point where it's like, no, guys. But I don't know. Class stuff in Apex Legends, cool. But this when they imagine if Apex Legends, if every single player could be Pathfinder. Everyone on your team, everyone on their team, grappling hooks everywhere. Because the grappling hook mechanic is so cool and so different than any of the other ones that you can do. That there's, I don't know.
It just seems a bit any of these like near future sort of games. Just as COD is infamous for that rocket powered fucking knee sliding and sort of stuff. It just seems a bit like that, which is
Yeah,
I've never just personally been into that sort of stuff, and I don't mind things being, I quite like the idea of the setting and having a firefight around the rocket ship and all that. Cool, fine. But then there's like in terms of the actual design of the game, they just feel like compelled to put a lot of fucking gadgets and stuff in it, which I don't know if it needs. I just don't know. You could take all that stuff out and it'd still be a great. What is it actually adding? You know what I mean? What is it?
Yeah. There's just a lot of when you're playing it, I just think more than any of the other games, you're probably just asking who asked for this?
Yeah,
and it just feels like a lot of that, and I don't know, man.
Because it wasn't us, was it? You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
But that's sort of what we think about Battlefield 2042. I mean, I've already bought it. So
I'm gonna,
and definitely play it. I'm a big Battlefield fan.
And
So
Liam said, I can't remember if Liam said this before we were recording or whatever, but they did it. They turned Battlefront 2 around not even fucking 360, make 720. They did so much of it. They will, and the same with Battlefield 5. The improvements just absolutely slammed. So if they've got a good roadmap and stuff, then it's almost worth it for watching what they do with it. And that's something that you can really say with DICE and say it with your chest because they do it.
And hopefully they'll just, there's been a big emphasis, I think probably as there usually is, on destruction and chaos and it's so crazy. Look at the aeroplanes and stuff when you're running on the grass. I was like, that's good.
Yeah.
But I like the team bits. The team play is
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Hopefully they'll strengthen that a bit.
Now, for everyone listening, we'll tell you when it's good, so you can save some money and buy it then, isn't it?
That's it.
All right.
Okay. Do you know what? I think maybe we'll jump into another email there. Thanks, Link, for that email.
Yeah, nice one.
Let's do this. There's a lot this week. Well, this is just a slightly strange email that we got, but I'll read out. This is from a person called Texas Tyrone, which is again a cool name.
Texas.
Okay. Tyrone says, "Hey gamers, frequent listener and patron, infrequent writer to the show, so I'll be concise and get to the point. I am coming out as the world's first next-gen gaming conspiracy theorist. I can no longer believe that anyone has a next-gen console or that anyone is able to buy one. They simply do not exist.
All right, we're in it. Yeah.
Stores claim to have them in stock online, only for them to be sold out instantly before they're on sale. Influencers on Twitch claim to have them, but they're never on screen during live gameplay. We can only surmise that they're all paid by Jeff Bezos and the Illuminati for some reason." Texas Tyrone reporting from the true timeline. 8th console generation out. Well, thanks, Texas.
Nice one.
I do have a PlayStation. It's downstairs.
It's downstairs.
You won't show it on camera, will you?
It's downstairs. I'm a truther. I'm a Texas Tyrone truther, man.
So we're
my favorite game's Demon Souls. That's why I can think of all these good memories of it. I've just got the original. It's not getting better, is it? And we're creeping up to 1 year since the next gen came out. And I remember hearing about June or something like that there won't be any in stock till 2023 or something like that. Somebody told me it worked. Something to do with the chipsets or whatever.
I think it was Intel said a couple of days ago, they were like, don't expect chip shortages to get any better until 2023 or something. Yeah,
that's it. So I mean,
I think there's a lot of money to be made at the moment making YouTube videos explaining the chip shortage. I reckon
absolutely.
There's plenty of videos out there and they've got plenty of views. I reckon we should jump in on that.
People just want answers, which is where Texas Tyrone should start. We need to make some sort of coping supplement that we can sell at a really, really high price, like Alex Jones or something like that. So Tyrone, see if we can formulate something, we'll endorse it, I'm sure, because we're truthers, man. I mean, it's a bit bad, isn't it? And do you know what's? I guess it's not really next gen, or maybe it is. I don't know how to describe this fucking thing, but I realized that we're getting close to the Steam Deck. Been talking about it to you guys before this, and that you've got probably a better chance of getting one of them if you pre-order one than PlayStation.
I think you have to, if you order, it just puts you in a queue, doesn't it? So if you weren't in the initial fucking blast, right, you won't get one till 8 months after. Mine is January apparently.
December. So that's. Liam's right in there, isn't it? But I had that thing.
You both gone for one, didn't you?
Yeah. Literally, I had no issue. I logged onto Steam, put a deposit down. It was like, thanks. I was have to refresh. It didn't crash.
I was too early. Like I was like on the dot on the minute, and I refreshed, but then it said that my account was suspicious because I'd like refreshed too many times. So then I had to wait. Was it like 45 minutes? But I felt every minute of that. And you guys were like, "It's okay, Jake, don't worry." And then Liam's like, "Yeah, I got one. My dad got one." I'm like, "Fucking no."
I tried, and I just thought maybe this is a sign.
Although,
the fact I was struggling, I thought it was a sign that I don't actually need one.
Yeah, my dad did say his was like Q2 2022 or something though. Like, so he's like right at the back of the queue.
Yeah. I got in for Jan. I've got like the mid-range one, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
It's just gonna be an indie machine for me, so I can lie in bed and play all my Steam indies.
Play Inscription and Darkest Dungeon 2 and all the good shit. There's loads of good stuff coming out. That'll be good on that. So yeah, maybe that's the out Steam Deck. But then again, even that, everyone's like, "Oh, I'm not getting mine till this time. I'm not getting mine till this time."
Yeah,
there's already people trying to scalp them as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
terrible.
Okay, well, maybe let's do one more email before we talk about something else.
Okay. Yeah.
So this one. Let's do this one. This one's from Lee Abrams, regular emailer.
Yeah, shouts out to Lee.
From Biggleswade in England, which is a real place. Lee says this: "Dear Special Moves and hello gamers. I recently acquired a PS5. Did you though?
Tyrone?
Yeah. I'm just making this email up as I'm going along, man. Just
Mike's sweating right now. Yeah.
I recently acquired a PS5 and I'm playing through Resident Evil Village. I'm loving it so far, by the way. I don't think it will be too long until I finish the game and we'll be looking for something new. However, I am really, really after something a bit more linear. I know how you feel, me. I'm really after something a bit more linear where I don't have to think about where to go next. Backtracking, puzzles, choosing where to spend stat points or gunner markers in open worlds. I've just played too many games like that recently, and the thought of playing something like Demon's Souls just sounds like it's going to require too much concentration. I just can't be asked getting lost or stuck on the next game I play. Going down corridors, gunning people down sounds like a welcome break to me. Is there anything like this you could suggest that's on the PS5? Thanks, Lee. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel, Lee. This is what I want as well, very much. Alan Wake just came out.
Yeah, Alan Wake Remastered. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Literally locks you in rooms with a bunch of enemies. It's exactly what you need.
Like Charles Bronson. You know, Ratchet and Clank is a really cool whistle-stop tour about 8 planets. I mean, you can revisit some of the planets, but it's like a very like Spyro the Dragon type. You can go back to the worlds, but it's
open, but it's not Assassin's Creed.
You don't have to think to enjoy the game, but you can like spend your points. It gives you a bit of freedom. Like, you know, you got currency that you can spend on various weapons, and you might choose the giant chainsaw or the gun that shoots guns or whatever. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's a good place to be. I think because some of the big specials are like, well, Demon's Souls and Returnal are very, you know, you've got to really engage to enjoy them, right?
That's it. So I think, you know, you're probably looking at remasters and remakes to really get that old, you know, the feeling that he's on about, I think. And either that or something like Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, which is sort of a double A or whatever they call that. So maybe Mafia or something, which is on sale on PS5 at the moment, the Definitive Edition remake, which I haven't played, so I don't know if it's any good. But
it's good. No. Yeah, I played it.
No, cool.
Any other suggestions? God of War, probably, which is open but not really open.
Well, actually, I tell you what does have a very straightforward campaign, and it's probably going to be on sale right now. The last Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Because Vanguard is out in literally 2 weeks. That'll probably drop down in price really quick, and it's got like, you know, it was like one of the launch titles, so you've got your DualSense support. And it's decent enough, isn't it? The campaign, you just go, you know, it's just literally, you know, you've got your classic COD World Tour vibe, but you don't have to do any thinking, and you can do a lot of shooting in corridors there. So
I don't know if you've played them as well, but the old Resident Evil 2 remake, the Resident Evil 3 remake, Resident Evil 7 if you haven't played that.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7's ace. Yeah. That's good.
Doom.
Yeah, Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a few there. Okay, cheers.
Yeah, let's go.
let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Should we talk about news? There's quite a few things.
I put loads down on the Discord, but I didn't mention the one that was actually really exciting to me, which is
what?
Animal Crossing Direct.
Animal Crossing Direct.
Yeah, Nintendo Direct did an Animal Crossing special, and it was actually quite respectful of everybody.
That wasn't the adjective I was expecting there. It was quite
normally it would. I
honest.
think yes, it was. It was actually, no. I think it did something that was very, 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 very rare, where it managed to not just temper, but actually exceed the expectations of crazy obsessed Nintendo fans for 20 minutes in a row. It was a solid 20 minutes of Animal Crossing, and it was like, hello, this is what we're adding, and then doubled the content of the game. So if you don't know about Animal Crossing, you're probably not going to give a shit. So I'll just go quick. But basically, Animal Crossing is a very beloved franchise by Nintendo, and it kind of took the world by storm when it came out, because it was literally on the cusp of the global pandemic, which was something that none of us who have lived on this planet have experienced. So it was a very weirdly nice escape from that, I think, for a lot of people. And as such, it was a huge sensation. A lot of people played Animal Crossing for the very first time. It became a big hit. So they've been adding, incremental updates as time goes on, little things there's a Christmas event. And in case somebody listening has no idea what Animal Crossing is, it's kind of like a life sim. Imagine Stardew Valley, but without the farming aspect. You just go around and exist in a nice island full of animals, and you can kind of pick the villagers and talk to them and go fishing, and you get to kind of build your little town. But yeah, there's loads of customization, crafting. You can change your clothes, you can change the walls and your home, the island's landscape, and things like that. And yeah, they just kind of said that they were going to do a direct, and they were going to add the kind of famous coffee shop from previous games, like the Roost, just Brewster's little place. And then they just kind of dropped in, we're adding this. They just said, this is our last update that we're doing for free, and we'll double the content of the game, basically. And then they said, and on that same day, there's a £20 DLC, which adds it's essentially a separate game. It's like Nintendo has this other Animal Crossing thing called Happy Home Designer, where you're basically a little interior designer, and then you get marked for how good you're doing. Whereas this, you're doing that but exterior. You're basically making people their own paradise islands. So an animal will come along and say, I want my dream island. I like cute things and chairs that look like frogs and the color pink. And then it's up to you, the architect, to create this entire island, the building shape, everything like that. And it's, can't remember what the fuck it's called, like Happy Home Paradise or something like that, or whatever. But it comes out on the same day, so it is literally added
isn't it
150%.
Isn't it tied to the Nintendo Switch Online thing though?
You can get it separate. You can get it separate.
I thought you had to have a subscription to get it.
No, they just added that to it, right? Okay. Where you can.
So it's an incentive to get it, pretty much.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that wasn't Animal Crossing in this direct. They snuck in that they've hiked the price of Nintendo Online, but they've said you can get Nintendo Online, or you can get Nintendo Online Plus, which gives you this Animal Crossing. It gives you
the N64 games, isn't it?
Well. The N64 games and this DLC are included in your subscription, basically.
Yeah.
But when your subscription runs out, you can't play it anymore. But you can just buy it one-off. So yeah, basically, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is, imagine you're really into a game. Imagine Skyrim. You're really into Skyrim, and then they said, we've got an update for Skyrim, and they literally doubled the content of Skyrim. They said, here's a whole new map, here's the whole thing. And for a little bit more, you can have about 50% more. You'd be like, oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? Because realistically, even though everyone should be everyone's just yes. So yeah, they actually put in the work, man, and smashed. So
cool. Okay, well that sounds pretty good.
And that's out the 5th of November, so just mere weeks away as well.
Have you seen this GTA Trilogy stuff?
Yeah.
So the GTA, what is it? 3.
San Andreas.
San Andreas. Yeah. The PS2 era, pretty much.
Yeah. Which I saw it on Nintendo is £50. I don't know how much it is everywhere else, but
I don't think that's that bad though, because they're pretty big games. Like San Andreas, especially, is massive.
Maybe it's just that it looks shit to me. That
I don't know. I weirdly quite like it.
Yeah, this is it. So now you know.
It looks like a cartoon.
It's still all like this, but except with fucking ray tracing or whatever.
Yeah. They put like HDR bloom everywhere, like lens flare into the eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, weirdly, I like it. I think it looks like the old covers of the. Do you remember like the really stylized covers for like the GTA 3 and stuff? I think it looks a bit like that.
I think that's quite generous, but
I probably am being too generous because I know I seem to be the only person who doesn't mind it from what I've read. But
I think it's
honestly don't mind
the
it.
price as well with that is sort of
the Nintendo Switch version's the cheapest fucking version.
No,
it's 55 quid everywhere else. I'm looking right now. I'm on the PlayStation Store right now, $54.99. On Steam, $54.99. And on Xbox, $54.99.
Jesus. Well, people will buy it.
It'll sell.
Hell yeah,
it'll sell. Well.
It'll do well.
Yeah,
you'll want to play it on the go, won't you? And that, but I don't really fuck with these games very much. Like
San Andreas, I did. I went mad.
That's the one. That's the that's the only Grand Theft Auto I finished ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lose my way. I lose my way.
The stats and everything, like they're doing.
That's what I like.
And all that.
I like going to that one, kind of like the area with the big mountain and that.
Mount Chiliad.
Yeah, I loved. That's it. I like being around there on my BMX, innit? That was all I remember. But
if you could get them separately, I probably would just get that.
Yeah. See, I really like Vice City.
That's
the vibe. I think what's annoying about this is you buy it as one, but you can download them separately.
Yeah,
but you have to buy it as one. Do you know what I mean?
Have they said anything about the music though? Because I know like quite a few of the iconic songs, like they lost the rights to use them, had to like patch them out. So I wonder if they've got the music back. Because especially Vice City and San Andreas, soundtracks to those games are like part of what makes them. To be honest.
I do have a lovely PS2 though downstairs, and you know what I mean. I could just get. I don't know how much San Andreas goes for these days, but
not a lot. Like
about 55 fucking quid, mate.
Yeah,
I think it's like a £5 if you want a PS2 copy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not expensive.
So I might do that.
I'm looking now, but like all the articles are just a bunch of fucking list videos about like the best stations. But so I don't think there's been any official comment on the stations. But you're right, Liam. Like. But also at the same time, do you know what would be really fucking cool? This is definitely not what's going to happen, but imagine if they got loads of like 80s sounding modern artists like Synthwave Kavinsky's type stuff on Vice City. That would bang. Do you know what? That actually, if they did like one change like that, they said all new music for Vice City because they've lost the rights, but they've actually gone and new. That'd be a good selling point. People would buy it because it would seem fresh. It'd introduce people to loads of new music. That's a win. Why didn't they do that?
But and you could do it so neatly. You could have separate radio stations.
Yeah,
do it. Like there's no reason you couldn't do that.
If I remember right, there was meant to be a synthwave station in GTA 5, but they had to cut it for time.
Yeah,
it's like but they had like a track list and everything and what would have been on it. But yeah, they just didn't have time to actually put it in.
Crazy.
So that's a pretty big piece of news. New Grand Theft Auto Trilogy. Remaster.
Not often Rockstar makes a game.
No.
Yeah.
But it is often that they make tons of money, which is mad, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Any other bits of news you want to get through before we talk about games?
Well, I'll just tell you a bit of news about myself, if that's okay, because I'm going to talk about it next week, and I wanted to kind of preface it. Yeah. I've got an Oculus, the VR thing, right? Which is one of them, Quest 2.
So you got the one without cables. It's a standalone.
Oh yeah, and that was a surprise to me. So I actually, my boss got it. Me, I didn't get it. So because of that, I didn't know what it was. I thought it was going to be complicated, and but yeah, it's actually standalone. So it's actually quite crazy. Like I was in a hotel room, like so far away from my computer, and I could be on Beat Saber and this and that. So I've been enjoying it, but I understand how not engaging it is to talk about VR when someone doesn't have VR. So I'll just say that like I have this boxing.
Like
I'll tell you what, yeah, I do. And I was a bit... I played the Vive a couple of years ago. My brother-in-law has a Vive, and I think my best memory on the Vive was playing Elite Dangerous with the headset, but I was playing it with a controller, so it was only like the vision that was like immersive. Everything else was just a regular game. Yeah. And for example, I've been playing Tetris Effect in there, which is like...
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, it is something special when you've seen all them whales go past you, Liam, and you're like in the zen. But I played Beat Saber and that was good. But I've actually, my mind's been blown by a little game that has gone crazy. Like I bought this game for £7 called Thrill of the Fight because it's got like 13,000 5-star reviews, and it's a boxing game, right? Yeah. But it's got like just look it up, right? The reviews are mad. They even have like proper actual boxers using it, and it's so good for exercise because it's full body tracking and hand tracking, and it knows the velocity of your punches and stuff. But you can go through the belts like FIFA career mode. But because it's like an actual fight, you got your adrenaline, which makes your heart pump, so the cardio is even more intense. So it's such a good workout, and it was made by one guy, and it's on there for £7. It's crazy. But I didn't actually know, because I don't give a shit about VR, that they made Resident Evil 4 in there, and I've just realised that's now climbed to the top. And then, funnily enough, Liam mentioned earlier this morning that it seems interesting, right?
Oh yeah, I keep looking at videos of it being like... literally the SpongeBob meme of I don't need it, but God, I want to play it so badly.
Well, that's the best thing is I can just give you my VR headset. You don't need a computer for it. You don't need anything, and I've got the game. So you can just, and it's like me giving you my Switch. That's the thing about the Oculus that I'm actually a bit surprised at. Like, I'm traveling next month. I'm actually going to take it with me, and it's easier for me to do that than my PlayStation 5 because there's no wires. So like, I know I sound like a spokesperson all of a sudden, but it's just like. I'm actually quite impressed by how lightweight the whole thing is. Like, the idea of me wanting to do VR means I've got to come in here, tether myself to my computer when I can just playing.
I've got a Rift S. I've got a Rift S through a couple of years ago, and I barely touched it. Like, I played a little bit.
Do you have to plug that in?
Yeah. So the Quest is the first one that it was remote. 2 is the one that
right.
That I mean, it's not the first one that's totally. There are small ones, before that, but yeah, the Rift is like you tether to the computer, and it's just this.
It runs off your hardware.
Yeah, but it's it looks cool and everything, but it's just I'm yet to just see a game that I like in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing about Resident Evil 4. I was a bit confused because I was like, this is no way the real game. This is like just some sort of weird, like, time crisis type thing. But no, it is like the full game.
How do you move in it? Do you know?
Well, I assume you use the joysticks, which you can.
Yeah, a lot of games give you the option of you can teleport if you get sick, or you can just walk.
Yeah, because the Rift's got full. It's got full like Joy-Con basically. It's got two buttons over and that. So, but yeah, it looks crazy, and they've added stuff in for this game. So Facebook have been working with Capcom, and they've got some things that are only in this version that aren't in the other. But apparently, the only things that are taken away are. There's no mercenaries mode. There's no Ada missions, and the only 1-star reviews on the App Store are people who are talking about the extreme censorship of the game because you can't look up Ashley's skirt, you can't look up under an underage girl's skirt, and she doesn't make a sexual comment to Leon towards the end of the game. So bad news for paedophiles, but everybody else apparently it's good. So I think that. Next week, there's a high chance that's what I'll be talking about, Resident Evil 4 in VR. But at the moment, I'm in a bit of a honeymoon stage of it and that. But, the family are loving it as a novelty. You're gathering around it. My daughter and my wife are arguing on who's going to play on Beat Saber next and stuff like that. But, seems like the real deal. And the fact that there's no wires is pretty sick. So, more to come on my boring VR adventure.
Jake's boring VR adventure coming next week for everybody. Look forward to that. So we'll do the new games just before we wrap up. There's quite a few this week. It's that kind of time of year, isn't it? The big one, I suppose, the 26th of October is Guardians of the Galaxy. PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. The Square Enix published Eidos Montreal game. I mean, I've heard people, but I haven't seen anything. I don't know what it is really. Liam, I assume you've seen it.
From what I've seen, people have been saying it's a bit Mass Effect 1-y, in that it's mostly linear. Good. There's a lot of focus on interactions with like the crew, and you just like do a bit of planet hopping, doing missions. There's dialogue choices.
And you're playing as Star-Lord.
You play it as Star-Lord, yeah. He's like your Commander Shepard. Cool. And there's like, if you do certain things, it'll piss off. Like, if you do something that pisses off Rocket Raccoon, but it'll make Gamora happy and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like, I've seen some Mass Effect 1 comparisons, even comparing like the really janky facial animations as well. People say, saying like, some of the animation looks like it's from Mass Effect 1. I'm sure for a lot of people that is some like incredibly high praise.
I don't care if it's good.
But yeah, exactly. But yeah, the gist of it is it's like it's mostly like a third person shooter. With RPG-ish. Some like action RPG elements. I think I'll probably play it because it's Marvel and I'm a sucker for Marvel stuff. I'll play it.
I've just set my so I just moved house and I set my TV up and stuff. PlayStation out and stuff, and all excited and that, and I realised absolutely no play at the moment. So I might, I might even get Far Cry 6 or something. I don't know. Just so
hold that thought, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Because there's a game I think, in theory, you could play this week.
But Guardians sounds like maybe no. Okay, forget it then. Iron Harvest Complete Edition is coming out on PS5 and Series X. So this is a pretty good Company of Heroes type RTS, but it's got like mechs. And stuff.
Yeah. So what's it? Steampunk. That's it. Yeah.
Like alternate past World War What between World War One, World War Two sort of thing, and it's pretty good. But the Complete Edition, which I'm assuming to the next gen consoles, which is good. I'm still yet to
have all the DLC. You'd imagine anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm yet to have a strategy game. I'm yet to be blown away by an RTS on a console. Really, but I'm sure that'll be pretty good for people who can't get it on PC.
Yeah.
Age of Empires 4. Is that right? It's coming out on October 28th.
It's out on Thursday, same day as actually go on.
October 28th, Age of Empires 4 is out on PC. So I'm assuming this is going to be Game Pass, right, surely?
Yeah.
It is.
Feels like they only announced it last month.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that old. So a new Age of Empires game.
They announced it when I was at Gamescom like 2 years ago, and I think I have been I've been saving myself. Apart from Battle for Middle-earth 2, I've been going, I won't get into an RTS. I've been waiting. Are
we going to play this then?
Yeah,
we are. We're destined.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a really good time on Battlefield. I feel like that is quite a high bar, though. Not Battlefield. Battle for Middle-earth.
Oh, it's not going to be that good, is it? Jesus. But
no,
give it a chance.
But last time we played together, it was fun, wasn't it?
It was fucking amazing. Yeah. So, all right, I'm looking forward to that. So, okay, I'll get Game Pass for a bit of that. Doctor Who: The Edge of Reality, of course, is coming on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X.
No idea what this is.
That's that. Something called Dusk is coming to Nintendo Switch, which is a first-person shooter.
I bought this on PC the other day.
Right.
It's a Quake-like first-person shooter. It's like one of the highest-rated games on Steam, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been meaning. It came out like 2 years ago, but it was on sale, and I'm in the mood for a spooky Halloween game. And this is full of like the occult and weird
it's
things
like
in the woods.
American folklore, isn't it? Like scarecrows and pitchforks,
people wearing antlers on their heads.
Yeah, Southern Gothic as fuck.
Yes. But yeah, with a heavy metal soundtrack and lots of shotguns. So what's not to like?
Sold. Right, that looks all right. Talking of Halloween, Fatal Frame Maiden and Blackwater is out on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5.
I'm going to get this, even though it's a remaster of the worst Fatal Frame game.
Yeah.
Survival horror from
Koei Tecmo, is it?
Yeah.
Koei Tecmo. You take pictures of ghosts.
I scared the shit out of me, these Fatal Frame games, when I was a kid.
Fatal Frame 2 is genuinely one of the scariest horror games ever made, and it doesn't get enough love. Like,
which one? Is this like number 4 or 5? This is a Wii U one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the 5th one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I played. There was one on PS2, wasn't there? I think
The first 3 were on PS2.
PS2.
Yeah.
So there's one of them on PS2. I have a memory of getting to a certain bit that scared me so much. I just pulled the disc out and then walked to the games to the shop,
shaking
to trade it in.
Yeah.
That didn't know because I was so scared.
That's
that. Happy Game is out on PC.
Yeah.
And Nintendo Switch. This is again the 28th. We're still on the 28th here. Don't know what this is.
No, seems suspicious.
Yeah, Happy Game. Nothing to see here. Riders Republic is out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and of course Google Stadia. So Ubisoft, I guess it's like Steep or some shit like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
multiplayer
sports
extreme sports. Oh yeah.
Yeah, never been.
Probably an open world for some reason.
Yeah, that's it. It's exactly what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Saint Kotar is out on PC, another horror game.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're really rattling them off, man. You got loads. I'm like waiting for the one to come up, and I'm like, nope.
Voice of Cards, The Isle of Dragon Roars is out on PC. And
oh yeah, this is a Yoko Taro game. Yeah, it's made by Yoko Taro and the Nia team. There's a demo for it. It's like a card-based RPG with he's like creative director. It's got the person I can never pronounce the name, but the composer from Nier and Nier Automata.
This looks good. This I can't remember where I saw it. Like I think it was at like a Nintendo Direct or something.
It was the last Nintendo Direct it was on. Yeah, and they said like there's a demo out now. I thought it was a Switch exclusive, but apparently it's not.
Yeah, this looks alright. You know this. Hell yeah, cool.
Solar Ash.
Oh, that's the Hyperlight Drifter people, isn't it?
Yeah, PS4, PS5, and PC. So that looks pretty good. I loved Hyperlight Drifter. So I might get that. And then on the 29th, Mario Party Superstars is out on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, let's go. Mario Party. This is an all new one, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, isn't it like is it like the greatest hits one? Like they've remade loads of the old Mario Party stuff.
That's it. It's yeah. There's like a bunch of like N64, and you can even like the soundtrack. You can play each version of it or whatever. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, I played a lot of Mario Party, the old one. It's a good game for Christmas and that. So. Good. You didn't say the game that I was on about because it's in early access. It launched.
Can I just correct myself? Solar Ash has been delayed to December the 2nd. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's all right. Terrible blunder that, but it's okay. The game I was on about, in case you were wondering, it's one of them where, in theory, we should both like it, but neither of us are mad about the first one. Hugely anticipated game goes into early access on Tuesday the 26th, and it is Darkest Dungeon 2. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Darkest Dungeon was obviously really ahead of its time. This whole like kind of Slay the Spire, like almost like based off a tabletop game, but it's actually not a tabletop game. It's an original way. It seems like it's based on that turn-based thing. Yeah. It's got this whole kind of XCOM-y like mechanic, hasn't it? Where you've got your heroes, but this uses like PTSD, shell shock, fear, and insanity as a mechanic where you hear,
all that's in XCOM as well. But I guess this stuff is explicitly like horror-y, isn't it? It's,
cosmic horror, yeah, exactly. And then so the horrors of the deep and this and that. I mean, they're called Red Hook Studios, which is like Lovecraft story, innit? Horror at Red Hook. But they this one it seems interesting. I don't know if this was in the original Darkest Dungeon. I think it might have been like an expansion, but like your old party members you can find in later runs if they die, so you have to face like
that's cool.
The very Walking Dead, isn't it? Yeah. So it's like a strategy roguelike RPG thing. You're managing all sorts of
presentation, hasn't it? It's not like I guess what did you say? Slay the Spire. I guess it's looking at your characters like profiles, side on, and they kind of queue up.
It's inspired, but this is the thing about Darkest Dungeon, which is why I needed to bring it up. Right, the initial Darkest Dungeon inspired loads of games. Like it's really one of the ones that like is out there, and I reckon some, especially like Slay the Spire is nothing really like it, but when you look at it, you can see that it's clearly been influenced. So I really fell off this, and I've tried to get into it like a bunch of times. I actually own it on the Switch, the PC, and the PS4. That's how desperate I am to like it, because like you can't really have a conversation about roguelike games without it coming up. So the second one, maybe there's new hope for me. A last gasp at the price of 22 quid or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah. But I'm going to be getting this day one and giving it a go and really hoping it sticks with me. And the beautiful thing about this one is I know I'm not going to have to buy it on 3 things, because I'll just buy it on Steam and then play it on Steam Deck, innit? So,
magic.
Yep.
So that's it. Those are the new games. That's the 140 podcast. We're going to go on the bonus podcast right now, which again is going to be available to everybody this next week or over the next week, whenever it goes out.
Yeah.
It's just as some sort of apology to everyone for just
recompense
one podcast every 3 weeks for the last couple of months. But life gets in the way, doesn't it? So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you soon.